Here are the 5 biggest complaints I hear about real estate agents all the time. So let's go through them one at a time. So these are not lies real estate agents tell. That's a whole nother video. These are complaints that I've heard from sellers over my 35 plus years in the business. And most of the time there's about 10 different complaints. So I'm going to hit on the top 5 today. So let's go. So number 1 is communication, or more importantly, or more accurately, lack of communication. The agent is really good getting the listing at the listing appointment, and that's where the communication ends. Then the client feels like they've got to call the agent all the time to find out what's going on. And that's especially frustrating for an owner or seller when you're in a normal market and things don't happen for weeks or months, and you've got to call your agent to find out what's going on, because then you get the impression the agent either is doing nothing or doesn't know there's nothing going on, and both those things are not good. Number 2, the price they tell you at the initial consultation is not even close to the price the property actually sells for. Now, this is in a normal market, so at the consultation they might tell you this price and it sells for this price, and then they make up some excuse as to why that happened. Well, no, what they did is called a bait and switch. They told you a high price to get the listing. We call it buying the listing in the business. Once they get the listing, then they let the market slap you with reality and bring you back to here. Unfortunately, as a seller, a lot of the time you reward that agent for that mistruth by allowing them to continue to sell the house. That's a big one. Number 3, the strategy they use to sell the house. And this comes under the heading of the agent pushes their own agenda really hard. There's one particular nationwide company that does, careful here, they sell property a certain way all the time, and that is via auction. Whether it's a good market, a bad market, hot, cold, in the middle, normal, doesn't matter. Whether your property is absolute beachfront and unique, or it's one of 1,000 that look the same, they go on auction. It's the best strategy. As an owner, they sense that the agent just wants to do an auction, period. Why does the agent want to do an auction? A lot of the time it's so they don't have to confront the actual price to you, the owner. They can kind of push that aside and not have to give you an actual price. So the complaint is not an auction. The complaint is the agent is not listening to the owner as to the way they may want to get the property sold. So that's a biggie also. Number 4, and this is a tricky one. We're in a market right now, we're in July 2021, where property is selling very, very quickly at a very good price. So the agent still takes marketing money, still gets paid a good commission, but the property sells almost instantly. And a lot of sellers complain about that. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily justified or not. I'm just telling you right now the biggest complaints about having to pay large fees for marketing and the commission when a property sells in a couple of hours. Is that right? Is that not right? That's going to be another video that I'll do at a later date, but that is a complaint that I hear in a hot market. Conversely, in a cold market, I hear the same thing. I'm paying the agent all this money and they're not getting the house sold. So that one does go both ways. And number 5, I hear an awful lot. So these are not necessarily in order of the most frequent ones I hear. They're just random order. But number 5, I hear a lot. The owner feels like the agent was really on the buyer's side, not the seller's side. In other words, they were beating up the seller to get the price accepted for their buyer without thinking, how can I squeeze another $1,000 out of this buyer for the seller? That's a big one, and I hear that one an awful lot. So there's 5 complaints that I hear on a regular basis from owners who are not happy with their agent. And I'll use that segue to go straight into, if you want to list your house and get it sold by an agent that actually tells you what's going on, I'm the agent. If you're a buyer and you're looking for a property, give me a call. I know a lot of agents won't take the calls from buyers right now. I will, and I will help you. And if you're a landlord and you want your property managed by a reputable local company, well, please give me a call. That's it for this week. See you all next week.